गुड मॉर्निंग स्टूडेंट्स, हाउ यू ऑल आर? फाइन. चलो आज हम पढ़ रहे हैं वाटर अ प्रीशियस रिसोर्स. जल है तो कल है. इफ़ यू हैव वाटर यू कैन थिंक ऑफ द फ्यूचर. यू आर परहैप्स aware that 22nd March is celebrated as the World Water Day. Underline. A school celebrated Water Day and invited posters from the children of your age group. Some of the posters presented on that day are shown in figure 16.1. ये ठीक है. What is the message you get from these posters? Write your observations in your notebook and discuss them in the class. Have you ever felt a shortage of water at home or at school? Your parents or teachers must very often be advising you not to waste water. No wonder we celebrate water days every year to attract the attention of everybody towards the importance of conserving water. The amount of water recommended by the United Nations for drinking, washing, cooking and maintaining proper hygiene is a minimum of 50 liters per person per day. Underline. कितना लीटर? 50 लीटर per person per day. This amount is about 2.5 bucket of water per person per day. Is your family getting at least this much of water? If yes, you should consider yourself fortunate because millions of people in our country do not get enough water. What about your friends and their families? Share your experience with them. In some places, there is an acute shortage of water. Taps running dry, long queues for water, fights, marches, and protests for demand of water have become a common sight, especially during summers. Some of the newspaper clippings shown in figure 16.3 clearly indicate this message. Is it not true that we face acute shortage of water? ये देखो. ठीक है बेटा. Activity 16.1. Collect clippings from newspaper and magazines on the news items, articles and pictures related to water shortage. Paste them in your scrapbook and share it with your friends. List some problems faced by the people and discuss them in the class. Water shortage has become a matter of concern throughout the world. It is estimated that in a few years from now, more than one third of the people in the world could face the water scarcity. Before we discuss why water is getting scarce, we must know how much water is available for the use of our planet. Year 2003 was observed as the International Year of Fresh Water to make people aware of this dwindling natural resources. How much water is available? Look at the picture of the earth taken from space. Why does it appear blue? Surely you can guess. You are aware that about 71% of the earth's surface is covered with water. Underline. Almost all the water on the earth is contained in the seas and oceans, rivers, lakes, ice caps as groundwater and in the atmosphere. However, most of this water is not fit for human consumption directly. The water that fit for us use is fresh water. Perform the following activity to estimate roughly the relative amount of water available in some of these sources. देखिए Activity 16.2. Most of us assume water to be a limitless resource. From this activity, can you appreciate the actual amount of water available for human use? ये एक्टिविटी दे रखी है एक बेटा, जिसको आप करेंगे तो पता पड़ेगा कि कितना अमाउंट जो है हम वाटर के लिए यूज़ कर सकते हैं. Does the finding worry you? Discuss this in your class. Forms of water. Are you afraid that continuous use will someday exhaust all the water available for use? You know that water on the earth has been maintained for millions of years by various processes which make the water cycle. You have studied the water cycle in class 6. Water in your own words, what you know about the water cycle. You know that when water circulates through the water cycle, it can be found in all the three forms: solid, liquid, and gas. At any given time, somewhere on the earth, the solid forms, snow and ice, is present as ice caps at the poles of the earth's snow covered mountains and glaciers. Liquid water is present in oceans, lakes, rivers and even underground. बेटा जो हमें ग्लेशियर्स पे मिलते हैं वो सॉलिड, जो हमें पानी जो हमें सागर से, नदियों से, झील से मिलते हैं वो लिक्विड. द गैसियस फॉर्म्स इज वाटर वेपोर प्रेजेंट इन द एयर अराउंड अस. द कंटिन्यूस साइक्लिंग ऑफ वाटर अमंग इट्स three forms keep the total amount of water on the earth constant even when the whole world is using it. Does it gives you any relief? Can you recall the process involved in water cycle? The following activity will help you. Activity 16.3. Figure 16.5 shows the process involved in the water cycle. They are labeled by the numbers. Match these numbers with the process given in the jumbled form. Most towns and cities have water supply system maintained by the civics. देखो रुटगन रावत ये सब जो है वो दे रखा है, ठीक है. वाटर साइकिल कैसे होता है. Water bodies, the water is drawn from nearby lakes, rivers, pond or wells. The water is supplied through a network of pipes. Many villages do not have such water supply system. There, people fetch water directly from the sources. Often people and even children have to walk several kilometers to fetch water. The children suffer a lot. They cannot attend school regularly since they spend hours in fetching water. पानी लाने के लिए उनको इतना survive करना पड़ता है. A large number of people drawn water from wells, tube wells or hand pumps. From where does these sources get water? Groundwater as an important source of water. If we dig a hole in the ground near a water body, we may find that the soil is moist. The moisture in the soil indicates the presence of water underground. If we dig deeper and deeper, we would reach a level where all the space between particles of soil and gaps between rocks and are filled with water. The upper level of this layer is called the water table. The water table varies from place to place and it may even change as at a given place. The water table may be at a depth of less than a meter or maybe several meter below the ground. एक वाटर टेबल होती है, वो जो है हमें बताती है कि पानी कितनी गहराई में है और हम कहाँ तक उसको हमें जो है वो खुदाई करनी पड़ सकती है. The water found below the water table is called groundwater. Understood? Underline. What is the source of this groundwater? The rainwater and water from other sources such as river and ponds seeps through the soil and fills the empty space and cracks deep below the ground. The process of seeping, underline. The process of seeping of water into the ground is called infiltration. The groundwater thus gets recharged by this process. At places, the groundwater is stored between layers of hard rocks below the water table. This is known as an aquifer. Water in the aquifers can be usually pumped out with the help of tube wells or hand pumps. Have you ever been to a site where construction work is going on from? Where do the worker get water for the construction? Maybe you have seen boring being done at such sites. To reach the water table, inquire from the people working there how deep they have to dig. Can we keep on drawing water from under the ground? How will it affect the water table? Depletion of water table. Water drawn from underground, the ground gets restored by seepage of rainwater. The water table does not get affected as long as we draw as much water is replenished by natural process. However, water table may go down if the water is not sufficiently replenished. This may happen due to many reasons: increase in population, industrial and agriculture activities are some common factors affecting water table. Scanty rainfall is another factor. बारिश कम होती है तो पानी जो है वो बहुत गहराई में चला जाता है ना, तो वाटर टेबल जो है बहुत अफेक्ट होता है और उससे हमें पानी प्रॉपर पता नहीं पड़ पाता है। उसका भी सबसे बड़ा कारण क्या होता है? इंक्रीजिंग पॉपुलेशन जैसे जैसे बढ़ती जा रही है और घर और जो धीरे धीरे बनते जा रहे हैं उससे भी ज़्यादा हो रहा है। फिर आ रहा है इंक्रीजिंग इंडस्ट्रीज़, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन ऑफ वाटर जैसे जैसे बढ़ते जा रहे हैं उससे जो है वो ज़्यादा जो है हमें पानी की खपत ज़्यादा हो रही है और रेनफॉल कम हो रहा है। एग्रीकल्चर एक्टिविटीज़ में भी जैसे खेती के लिए हमें ज़मीन ज़्यादा चल रही है तो हमें ज़्यादा मेजॉरिटी में खेती करनी पड़ रही है, क्योंकि अगर हमें जैसे कि पॉपुलेशन बढ़ रहा है और इंडस्ट्रीज़ बढ़ रही है, एग्रीकल्चर को भी फार्मिंग के लिए भी पानी ज़्यादा चाहिए तो वहाँ पर पानी नहीं हो पा रहा है। अब आप पढ़ेंगे वाटर मैनेजमेंट को आप देखेंगे कि वाटर मैनेजमेंट हमें कैसे करना चाहिए। फिर रेन वाटर हार्वेस्टिंग कैसे होता है? बोर खुदवाएंगे, ड्रिप इरिगेशन करेंगे, है ना, तो उसको करके हम कर सकते हैं। वाटर वाइज हैबिट्स इफेक्ट वाटर स्कैरसिटी ऑन प्लांट्स, वाटर रोल यू कैन प्ले। What you must have seen potted plants wilting and ultimately dry up if they, अगर देखो वाटर स्कैरसिटी इफ़ेक्ट्स कैसे पड़ता है अगर उनको हम पानी नहीं पिलाएंगे। तो यहाँ पर ये जो जनरल पॉइंट्स हैं इनको एक बार आप देखेंगे और यहाँ पे देखेंगे कि हमें जो है हमें पानी किस तरीके से बचाना चाहिए। बोरिंग्स के थ्रू, है ना, हैंडपम्प्स के थ्रू, ट्यूबवेल्स के थ्रू, वेल्स के थ्रू, ठीक है, और वहाँ पर हमें पानी को बचाना चाहिए। यहाँ पर आप देखेंगे कि ये जो मैनेजमेंट है, वाटर मैनेजमेंट आपको बता दिया, एग्रीकल्चर एक्टिविटीज़ में कैसे और इंडस्ट्रीज़ में कैसे, डिस्ट्रीब्यूशन वाटर कैसे होना चाहिए। फाइन, इसको एक बार आप रीड करेंगे, कहीं पे कोई दिक्कत होती है तो फील फ्री आस्क मी।